dozen deep in the Wilkesboro field. Times fall, speeds climb. The NHRA stars setting records qualifying in the heartland. And the ASA title battle down to the wire. A live preview of today's get-together in Toledo. Coming up on Race Day. It is Race Day, Sunday, October the 1st, 1995. Well, good morning. Welcome to Race Day. A little earlier than normal. I'm Rick Benjamin. Good to have you with us at 11 o'clock Eastern Time this morning. Plenty to show you. The title battle in Formula One, legal troubles for a major car owner, and the IRL moves ahead, all just ahead in the moments to come. But we open it up with Winston Cup today. The Cars and Stars make their last short track start of the year in about, we'll call it 2 hours in North Wilkesboro. They'll go 400 laps on the 5/8 mile oval today. Jack Roush's team owns the front row. Friday, Ted Musgrave speeding to his season's first pole in the Family Channel Ford, fourth of his career. Lining up alongside his teammate Mark Martin in the Valvoline Roush car. Now the top 10 for today's event looks like this. Look at Bobby Hamilton in third, the Waltrips. And the Robert Yates teammates 6th and 7th, and Schrader, Shepard, and Marlin. Gordon and Earnhardt line up a tick behind. They'll start 13th and 14th. But the racing story of the year, lining up 7th, is Ernie Irvan. He qualified for the first time in 13 months for a Winston Cup race back on Friday.
You know, it's the best thing that could happen. You know, being able to have such a hard time, but be able to reward it as far as going racing. You know, it's been a tough time, but hey, things are worth waiting for, and I was trying to be patient and wait for it. It's happened.
He was patient, and it paid off. Other moves confirmed this week. As we first told you here last Sunday, Michael Waltrip joins the Wood brothers for 96, with ace engine man Danny Glad taking over R&D work for the team. Ricky Rudd's crew chief, Billy Engel, is outgoing. He tells Race Day he'll announce within a week his plans. Engel has narrowed his choices down to 2 teams next year.
I honestly had a list of 12. And so I started narrowing down with the different criteria of things that I was looking for. And then this week I kind of narrowed it down to just 2 deals. And then the phone started ringing again. I had a couple more offers. But I'm going to stick to the 2 that I'm trying to make a decision on and go from there.
Well, the battle for the Cup Championship resumes just after 1 o'clock Eastern today. Full highlights from North Wilkesboro tonight. The PM edition of Race Day here at 7:30 Eastern, our normal time. Serious stock car action this afternoon as well in Toledo. 2 o'clock today, the stars of ASA take to the high banks at Toledo, Ohio Speedway. Next to last round of this year's AC Delco Challenge Series. Race Day's Ralph Shaheen is there live at Toledo Speedway. Ralph, they qualified yesterday. Who will be up front when the green flag falls?
Well, Rick, we did have a good day of qualifying yesterday. We have 40 cars on a 400-lap race here in a half-mile. Should be tremendous. And as you said, qualifying got underway yesterday. And Scott Hansen looked to be one of the guys who was going to challenge for the pole position. Hansen currently sits 7th in the points. He's got 1 win. He'll start 3rd today. He turned in a lap at 16.38 seconds. Bob Seneker was up next. He's 4th in the points with 2 wins. He started on the pole here last year for this race. He'll start 2nd, 16.34. And Glenn Allen Jr., he's 2nd in the points with 1 win. He is on the pole here today with new track records in both time and speed, 16.22 at 110.9 miles an hour. Now, as far as the points chase goes, well, Brian Reffner is the points leader. He's got a 77-point lead over Glenn Allen Jr. He'll start 15th today. And right alongside, starting 16th, 94 points back in 3rd, is a 7-time ASA champion, Mike Eddy.
Oh, Ralph, the points battle pretty tight with just 2 races to go. Who do you think is going to win this afternoon?
Well, I really like Glenn Allen's chances. He's a young hard charger, runs real well here, but the veteran in Bob Seneker, who starts 2nd, should be one that Glenn's really going to have to contend with. And old Mike Eddy over here starts 16th. He won't finish there, I guarantee you that.
Should be quite a battle. All right, thanks, Ralph Shaheen, live in Toledo for us. The Toledo 400 at 2 o'clock Eastern Time, and we'll have full highlights tonight on the PM edition of Race Day at 7:30 Eastern. Now, live on TNN today, NHRA Championship Drag Racing from Heartland Park in Topeka, Kansas. You'll see the first round of Top Fuel eliminations right here in about 25 minutes. A special live edition of NHRA Today right after Race Day. The finals live here on TNN, 5 o'clock Eastern. TNN's Bob Fry in Topeka, where the speeds have been high and the times have been very low. Bob, a good day so far.
There was some great qualifying at Heartland Park, Topeka in the Sears Craftsman Nationals. Most of the big numbers under the lights last night. Let's take them by class. In Top Fuel Eliminator, it was Scott Toledo, the reigning Winston champ, who ran under the record. He ran 4.660. That's one leg up on the national record. If he can back it up here today, he will pick up $50,000 from the folks at Slick 50 in their World Record Club. In the Fuel Funny Car category, Chuck Etchels was the first guy in the 4-second range. Did it 2 years almost to the day right here at Heartland Park, Topeka. Well, he put another big 4-second number up on the board, 498, and he coupled that up with a 300-mile-per-hour shot. Chuck Etchels' Kendall GT1 car is going to be awfully tough to beat. And in the Pro Stock category, just when it looked like Warren Johnson was going to be #1 again, his son Kurt came up and snatched the #1 spot away from him. KJ ran a 7.04, a very closely knit field of Pro Stockers, but the #1 guy is Kurt Johnson. We expect some great racing action at Heartland Park, Topeka. Could be some world records, maybe some 4-second runs, maybe a 6-second Pro Stock run. It's all coming up next right here on TNN.
All right, thank you, Bob Fry. Look forward to that. The Sears Craftsman Nationals Finals live here tonight, 5 o'clock Eastern. Full highlights on the PM edition of Race Day at 7:30 tonight. Hope you can be with us. There is more to come. One of the sport's top car owners could be in hot water with the feds. We'll explain. And trucking at North Wilkesboro, an open-wheel standout gets his first win, but Ernie nearly steals the show. The highlights are coming up.
Race Day is brought to you by Mopar, Chrysler Corporation parts, and the Chrysler, Plymouth, Dodge, Dodge Truck, Jeep, and Eagle dealers who sell and install them. By Jiffy Lube. If it doesn't say Jiffy Lube, it just isn't Jiffy Lube. By Speed Stick by Menon. Like you, it never quits. By Midas. The Midas way. The way it should be.
It's like a great day for racing in Toledo later today. Our Mopar Performance Update today. NASCAR Super Truck teams have been really busy of late, racing twice in the past 6 days. The longest trucking week of the year, they tell us. At Martinsville last Monday, it stopped raining long enough for a controversial finish. Point leader Mike Skinner and Jeff Bodine battling to the final corner. Push comes to shove. Skinner shoves too hard. Both go sideways. Joe Ruttman gets a look what I found pass and win. That allows Ruttman to close within 41 points of the series lead as he takes the checkered flag last Monday. And they moved to North Wilkesboro yesterday. Ernie Irvan stole the show, qualifying on the outside pole on the 5/8 mile oval. But Mark Irvan's return to competition finally after his long injury layoff. A 13-month absence did nothing to lessen his fire. Irvan held his own, even led twice, battling here with Jeff Bodine and Jack Sprague in the 25 truck. Bodine finally took command. Irvan's handling one away just before halfway. Sprague came through on the inside as well there. Irvan's crew went to work at the halfway break, tried to fix a sway bar problem, but they ran out of time. That ended Ernie's comeback bid, giving him a 30th place finish. On the track, Sprague and Bodine and DW back at it. Then deja vu. Watch this. Sprague and Bodine tangle. Jeff spins out of the lead again. Sprague on his way to the front. Sprague's time at the lead, though, also short-lived. Open wheel ace Mike Bliss in the Ultra Wheels deuce here, filling his mirrors. Bliss makes a move with 20 to go, takes the top spot. Leaves the field behind to check out his tailgate. Late race charge by Butch Miller ends up short. Traffic held Miller up, and Bliss pulled away to his first NASCAR victory in the Super Trucks. Jeff Bodine with a hard-fought third. Sprague gets fourth. Title contenders Ruttman and Skinner 6th and 10th. And our Speed Stick Fast Track Points update brought to you by Menon in the Super Truck Series. Ruttman closes the gap, 25 points behind now. Ron Hornaday Jr. out of title contention, watching the battle from third. Super Trucks are westbound this week. They'll go Saturday at Sears Point on the road course. You'll see that one live on TNN next Saturday afternoon at 4 o'clock Eastern Time. Mega car dealer Rick Hendrick, who owns 3 of the Super Truck teams and, of course, 3 top Winston Cup teams, has reportedly been under federal scrutiny for some time now in connection with a scandal at Honda cars in the United States. Reports say that 22 Honda executives have been found guilty in New Hampshire of taking payoffs in exchange for preferential treatment on dealerships and new cars. Reportedly, a Honda corporate executive has testified in that federal trial that he received about $250,000 in payments from Hendrick in return for dealerships and cars. And now, one dealer in Fayetteville, North Carolina, is suing Hendrick and Honda over the matter. A Hendrick spokesman denies the allegations, saying that Rick Hendrick merely gives a lot of gifts to friends and associates. At this point, Hendrick faces no criminal charges. We'll keep you posted. There's more to come this morning. Major Busch Grand National team undergoing a big shakeup for next year. We'll tell you about that. And a dogfight for the NASCAR Tour Modifieds up at the mile in New Hampshire last Sunday as we take a look live at Toledo Speedway. We'll show you that modified battle next. Welcome back to Race Day. Pretty quiet off track this week, but many NASCAR moves for the coming season will be announced this coming week in Charlotte, the Fall 500 there next Sunday. One big shift, though, is coming in the Busch Grand National garage area. Bobby Labonte releasing 94 Grand National champ David Green as his Busch Series driver. Bobby himself will be behind the wheel of the 44 next year. Labonte says his team's priorities are going to change this year.
Well, right now I plan on running limited Busch schedule myself. We're not going to do the full-time championship thing like we've done in the past. Just changed our mind on that deal. So we're looking forward to racing myself, and I think that'll be a lot of fun for myself and the team also having a few weekends off.
Labonte's Busch Series team loses Slim Jim as its major sponsor. The snack food company will back first-time winner Jason Keller next year. Bobby Labonte now looking for backing for a limited Busch Series schedule for his own car come '96. Going down to the wire, too, for NASCAR's Busch North and Featherlight Modified Tours. Last Sunday, both series made their final appearances of the year up at that terrific mile, Loudon, New Hampshire International. The Grand National North 125-miler opened the afternoon. Defending winner Joe Bessie in car number 1 led most of the first half of the race. Just past halfway, Bessie with his hands full. Robbie Crouch took the lead in the 6th car for a while. They traded the top spot a couple of times before Bessie snuck by on the inside of turn 3 to grab the lead for good. 6 laps into the finish. Bessie's second win of the year over Crouch and Jeff Berry. Randy LaJoie making his first start in Johnny Benson's Base Racing 74 with a nice 4th spot. Then the 600 horsepower Tour Modifieds played the nightcap. Pole sitter Steve Park and Mike Stefanik staged the battle. Raged the entire race. They swapped the lead 9 times. Steve Park on the inside of the 8 car, 30 to go. He decides he has enough of that. Goes high around Stefanik into turn 1 to take the lead for good. Stefanik then had to defend second from veteran Seth Worley and Charlie Pastriak. Watch this final turn battle. Stefanik moves down, Worley in tow, Pastriak already there. He touches off a 9-car scramble. And that also sweeps up title contenders Tony Hirschman and Rick Fuller. Jan Lady and Texas commuter Ed Kennedy sneak by for 2nd and 3rd. Mike Iwanitzko 5th, and here's the title point standings. 2 races left. Hirschman now leads by 8 points over Iwanitzko. Fuller 23 back in 3rd. The Featherlight Modified Tour runs this afternoon at Stafford Springs, Connecticut, before ending their season in 2 weeks at Thompson, Connecticut. We'll keep you posted on that battle right here on Race Day. Plenty of stock car action to show you this morning. The ARCA Supercars and the ACT Tour as well. The ACT cars in Oxford, Maine last week. Dennis DeBeers controlled the pace of the race last Sunday night until Dave Whitlock challenged from 10th starting spot. These two traded the lead 3 times before Whitlock finally took over for good in the 92 Ford there on the outside. Behind him, ACT title contenders struggled. Brad Layton, the point leader in the 55 with mechanical problems. Racing Ralph Nason, second in points in his car number 10. He fell out with engine woes. Up front, Whitlock dominated 75 of the 150 laps, his season's 5th victory, while the 2 Jeffs, Taylor and Stevens, settled second amongst themselves. DeBeers faded back to 5th. The ACT finale decides the title this afternoon. The Fall Foliage 300. Layton still with a 73-point lead despite his 8th place finish. DeBeers moves up to 2nd. Nason's 29th place finish last week drops him to 4th. We'll let you know how it plays out here on Race Day. Last Sunday in Salem, Indiana, the ARCA cars wild 200-lapper. This is Bob Shack and Andy Hillenberg. They come together. Shack in the 75 tries the door sheet metal up in turn 1. Shack got hurt, but very upset. Altercation with Hillenberg in the pits, a punch in fact. He gets a $3,000 fine. Pole sitter Tim Steele in the 16 gets into trouble, shoves his way by local favorite Frank Kimmel with 5 to go. Once out front, Steele cruised to an unpopular win. A lot of arguing over that one too. Steele's 5th career ARCA victory, his first since June of last year. Kimmel ends up 3rd. Now last night, ARCA raced at Winchester in Indiana. Tim Steele won his 2nd straight. Going into the weekend, Bobby Boucher and Hillenberg were in a dead heat for the ARCA title. Tonight we'll have much more on Winchester's race one night ago. That sets up the final round of the ARCA season in Atlanta. They'll crown the champion in November, and of course, we'll keep you up to date on that too here on Race Day. When we come back, lots of 2-wheeled action and more of our series on cheating in big league drag racing with just a little bottle of gas. Ralph Shaheen joins us live to update the nitrous story next on Race Day. We're back. Last week we told you about the controversy in the NHRA's Pro Stock Division over the illegal use of nitrous oxide. Race Day's Ralph Shaheen showed us how and why teams might use laughing gas. Today, Ralph joins us again live from Toledo with more on the nitrous situation. Ralph, this issue has turned friendly competitors, even families, into bitter rivals.
It sure has, Rick. You know, the NHRA's Pro Stock Division is heavily supported by the major manufacturers. Those big bucks put lots of pressures on the teams to win, and if you cheat, it becomes a very hot topic.
We've been robbed for 5 or 6 years. I hate to say that, but I believe that's how it is.
That's how emotional the argument over the usage of nitrous oxide is. To the pro stock competitors and NHRA officials, there is no middle ground.
No, I don't believe that there's been any problem with the cheating out here with the competitors. I know there's been a lot of talk about it, and I think that it's a good thing that NHRA has gone to policing it a little more closely, because that provides credibility for the fans. You know, the fans want to know that we're racing on a level surface out here. They want to know that nobody's cheating.
Well, there appears there has been a problem since at least one of the competitors admitted to using it, so obviously there was a problem from that side of it.
I think it's people making a lot of noise about nothing. We have a tech department that I would pit up against anybody, and they thoroughly inspect these cars prior to the event, during runs and qualifying and during eliminations, and we do thorough inspections back in the pits. We do teardowns at the end of the racetrack, and have never detected nitrous oxide, and I don't believe for a minute that it's out there in wide use.
One of the most vocal competitors regarding the issue of nitrous oxide in the NHRA's Pro Stock division is the NHRA's winningest driver, Bob Glidden. Early on in this controversial issue, Bob Glidden was very outspoken. He feels that nobody has taken him seriously, that they don't believe his accusations about what is going on in the series. Because of that, Bob Glidden has become tight-lipped on the issue.
Our people are doing our part, and there's a certain contingent out there that if cars run faster than them, they look for other reasons why their competitors are going faster than looking in the mirror and looking at themselves.
This controversy tears at the very fabric of the Glidden family. It was Bob's son, Rusty, who admitted in National Speed Sport News to using nitrous oxide to prove a point to his father and fellow competitors. Bob, who is dead set against the use of nitrous oxide, pulled the plug on his son's racing program for 1995. Rank, although we don't think we might see some more use of nitrous in the near future, we should say that the NHRA has officially stated that in 1995 they have not found one person running nitrous oxide.
Now, that was what Graham Light had to say. Ralph, thanks for your reporting on this issue. We'll keep you posted here on the nitrous oxide question on race day. Ralph Shaheen live in Toledo for us. Up on two wheels now, AMA star Miguel Duhamel didn't think he could contend for a national superbike title this year. He got off to a slow start in the season. He finished 57th, 11th, and 3rd in the first three runs of the year, but then Mid-Ohio, the 4th race, and Duhamel won his first of the season, opening up a 6-race win string. Going into the season finale, he was the rider to beat for the title. Last Sunday, Firebird Raceway, Chandler, Arizona, Duhamel only needed to run 24th to clinch the title. Mike Smith on the 68 jumped out early to grab the lead, but Smith ignored the black flag, so the Ducati rider was scored one lap down. Then Mike Hale made it a moot point, blowing by Smith on his Honda. Hale pulled out to a 10-second lead, chased by Duhamel, and Hale held off the 96 champ to pick up his season's second win.
I just ran a consistent race and tried to conserve my tire early on, and pretty much the whole race. Didn't try to put my head down, use up the tire, so it worked out good. We got a comfortable lead, backed it off to a comfortable pace, and man, I'm so happy.
So Duhamel ended with 6 consecutive wins. Actually, he's the 95 champion, finishing behind the Honda sweep. Tom Kipp on a Yamaha, Fast Freddie Spencer 5th on a Ducati. Duhamel lost that battle last week, but wins the war here, his first Superbike title, by 25 points over Mike Hale. On the dirt last weekend, the Grand National Stars back to Knoxville, Iowa, first time in 25 years. Kevin Barnes picked up the lead from Rich King with 8 to go to take his first win of the year. In the title chase, Scott Parker by 63 points over Rich King, with 3 rounds left to decide the championship. In endurance road racing, the Wera riders ran 8 hours. This is Talladega, Alabama last week. The series' biggest teams facing off again for the win, Team Suzuki and Team Pearls. Suzuki riders Michael Martin and Dave Stanton outlasted their rivals in the daylight. They were leading when the race was called early due to darkness. No kidding. No checkered flag yet here. When we come back, the battle for the World Driving Championship, the F1 Tour in Germany this morning. And as we take a time out, here's what's racing on television today, including our live coverage of the NHRA Tour on TNN, plus Race Day live to cap off your race day, 7:30 Eastern. Back in a moment. Welcome back. The globetrotting Formula One cars and drivers in Germany this morning. The European Grand Prix under foggy skies. David Coulthard coming off his win in Portugal last week. Off the pole, the early leader. While behind him, title contenders Michael Schumacher and Damon Hill would continue their wheel-wanging battle. Damp track conditions kept everyone guessing on tires. There's one of the wheel-wanging incidents. After the pit stop exchange, John Alesi took his Ferrari out front, chased by Hill. Hill wanted the lead, but tried this desperate move down low. Gets his nose literally chopped off there, losing 30 seconds in the pits to put a new nose piece on. Later, more trouble for Hill. He loses it, nails the tire barrier hard. Up front, Alesi had his hands full with hometown hero Michael Schumacher, who had made an extra pit stop. Schumacher finally wedged his way by late in the going. That pass carried him to his 7th win of the season. Michael Schumacher takes the checkered flag in Germany this morning over Alesi Coulthard, Rubens Barrichello, and Johnny Herbert. Eddie Irvin gets 6th. And the point battle looks like this. 2 races to go. Schumacher with 27 points now over Damon Hill, and he has clinched the title. After a tumultuous week on the IndyCar scene last week, pretty quiet this week. Tony George's Indy Racing League kicks off its first season in January at the new Tri-Oval at Disney World, just outside Orlando, Florida. IRL officials touring the facility this week. Some of the first pictures of the new Disney Oval to show you. We're going to show you this 1.1-mile layout. Nearing completion now. We have some helicopter shots here. Should be ready in plenty of time for the season kickoff. IndyCar regular Eddie Cheever likes the layout.
Speeds, top speeds of well above 200 miles an hour. What you have here is a circuit that is very banked, and when it is banked, it allows the race cars to handle to corner at a much higher speed because the banking actually works with you.
Cheever has tested one of John Menard's IRL cars at New Hampshire. The first race at Disney World takes the green flag January 27th. That's all the time we have. We're back at 7:30 Eastern tonight. Full Winston Cup highlights plus the ASA and the NHRA. Have a great race day. See you tonight.
Race Day is brought to you by Mopar, Chrysler Corporation parts, and the Chrysler Plymouth, Dodge Truck, Jeep, and Eagle dealers who sell and install them. Promotional fee and consideration have been paid by Racing Radios. For all of your business and racing communications needs, as well as scanners and frequency lists, call on Racing Radios at 1-800-669-1522. By Master Van and Trucks, the official van of Richard Petty Racing, authorized converter of Chevy, Dodge, and Ford. For the nearest dealer, call 1-800-883-6101.